Yeah, welcome, Pablo. Welcome to the Slop. Thanks for joining me. We are live. Let me shut this down. One of these days, I think Claudebot's going to join us, but he's still having some issues. I'll tell him to try again. Welcome. Thank you for joining me, Pablo. We're going to talk about OpSec today, and not just the OpSec lowercase OPSEC, but OpSec, your company, and SEAL team. And just like general security, like I haven't had anybody on here where we really talked deeply about security and had some hot takes. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe just give us a quick intro. How did you even get into this? There's the Claudebot. He's here. How'd you even get into this? Like, what led you to crypto?
Yeah, well, first, what led me to security? When I was 14 years old, I went to the computer lab from the school. There was a guy there managing the computer lab. He told me, hey, come here, watch what I'm doing. He was using some Trojans to hack other people's devices to open the CD-ROM, change the background from your computer, and do stupid stuff. And I said, oh, I love this.
I love this.
And I started with as a script kiddie, using software and programs that I didn't understand how they worked. So that's how I started with security when I was very, very young. And then I knew Bitcoin. Like there's a nice parallelism there because my parents are both programmers, right? But so I always had a computer at home, but I was not so crazy about my computer. What made me crazy was the internet, right?
Oh yeah.
And then something similar happened with crypto. Like when I saw Bitcoin, I said, "Oh, this is very nice. I really like this." But when I saw Ethereum, I said, "Oh, this is great. I want to go full into this." Yeah, so I started with Ethereum, doing lots of research. As soon as I was doing research, I started writing lots of threads in my X account in Twitter. So that's why it grew a lot. And then I made the connection between seeing so many people being hacked with the same simple techniques that we used to do it 25 years ago just for fun. And I said,
it's crazy.
I think I know how to fix this. So I said, I want to start with this. I started doing audits on myself, like by myself, and then I started to have a demand, and I said, okay, let's create a company, and we started to grow a lot. Yeah.
Talking about the same hacks from 20 years ago, it's like when someone asks you to get on a Zoom call right now, and they're like, you can tell it's not them, and they're already acting weird, and then they send you a link, and this is how like so many people get popped. And like I've had like people send me the nefarious, like I've gotten to the point of the conversation where someone has sent me the nefarious link probably 6 or 7 times, quite a few times, and I was already pretty suspicious with most of them. And then I get the link, and then when you get the link, you know, like, oh, this is not a real link. Like this is scary. Like I can tell there's something wrong with this link. And then you click that, and if you click that, it's the same thing as that CD drive opening 20 years ago in the lab when that guy was controlling other people's machines. Like same exact kind of software, same exact attack.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that what you needed to do is exactly the same. You just needed someone to execute the file. It's exactly the same. Yep. Then you have all the social engineering technique that you want, a fake job interview, a podcast, some library, pirated software, whatever. There are thousands of ways to try to infect someone's device, but in the end, it's the same. Yeah.
But this goes to something I had your research pulled up here earlier. Oh, I think I minimized it. And one of the topics was basically, it's easier to break people than it is to break code, and especially a smart contract. Smart contracts are hard, right? Like that's hard code. When a person is so soft, you could just send them a chat with a message and have them tricked to think that you're someone else, and they can double click a thing and it's all over. Like, you want to go into that more, or is that like more of just a slogan?
Yeah, like the industry got really good at smart contract security. There are lots of very, very good firms doing smart contract security audits, That's working perfectly. But what the industry didn't see is that the real threat was coming from operational security, off-chain stuff. Basically, most of the times, private key leakage, and 99% of times, 98% of funds stolen in the last year were operational security issues. And when you check those issues, 99% of them started with social engineering, right? That can be very basic stuff or very advanced stuff. For example, the one regarding the one that is happening today a lot, and it works very well, is the one from Telegram, where let's say that now you in some way you infect me, right? In this interview, because I double click something, while we were doing this, you record my video, right? So then you infect me. Then you steal my Telegram session. From my Telegram, you invite my contacts into a call. And when they connect to a call, to a real Zoom call
they
or
see your
Teams call,
video. That's
they
really
see
good.
my video, but no audio. So they say, it's Pablo. It's him. In fact, I had a friend who was infected 3 days ago who knew about this. But he said, no, I was seeing the guy, I was seeing my two friends there. They sent me a script, I downloaded it. I don't know if I executed it, but I was infected. Yes, you executed it. And that's it. And the thing is,
how the hell did I even get you in here? How did you get into the Slop.Computer? I would see, like, was it a little scary coming in here?
A bit, yeah. I have to admit it was. I said, okay, maybe I have to get the other device. I have too many devices. I have the device for signing, the device for day to day, the device for crazy stuff. Yeah, so too many devices. But the thing is that I think that it doesn't matter how sophisticated we are. I always say that it's a matter of time. Eventually, we are, you, me, Vitalik. It doesn't matter how sophisticated you are. You're gonna click on a phishing link.
You're human. Yes.
Eventually, you are gonna download some malware because it was a dependency or some software that you downloaded or some plugin or something like those things are gonna happen. That's why we try to focus a lot always in first training, right? We train people a lot so they know how to react to this, and we're gonna be very soon starting to do red teaming about this. Like, okay, you know this, okay, you don't know when, but one day you're gonna receive a job offer or something or this and that, and it will be us. We will be testing if you really pay attention. So first is training, but then we know that eventually you are gonna fail, right? So the next thing is, okay, what's gonna happen the day that I download something infected in my device, right? What should happen? First of all, something very cheap that the crypto industry doesn't like, but that should be a standard is use an EDR, right? An EDR.
Use a what?
An EDR, endpoint detection and response, like CrowdStrike.
I've never heard that before. EDR?
Okay. Yeah, an EDR is like an antivirus, but more advanced. An antivirus works by looking at signatures, right? So it says this file, we know that this is a virus, so we detect it. But if I say, I know that Austin uses MacBook Pro, Firefox, and Ravi, and has this R extension, I could create some malware that will specifically target your setup and will try to read the memory of that app in that moment. So a normal antivirus will not detect that, but an EDR will work instead of by signatures with behavior, right? So you will say, okay, you have this process connecting to this weird IP and trying to access the memory from this other thing, it will be blocked, right? The most known brands are CrowdStrike and SentinelOne. They're pretty big. They are very common in regulated industries, banking and all of that. But well, we recommend that for in case you download something infected, right? Or at least have something like, Objective-C. Objective-C
Like the
is
language. A lot of people write apps. Like a lot of apps are written in Objective-C.
No.
Right?
Let me show you here.
You can put it in the chat too.
Yeah.
You could even open this browser if you want to do a shared browser or shared screen.
Perfect. Yes. So I can Objective-C. Let's see. Here we have it. So Objective-C is a foundation that develops open source software exclusively for Mac. So here you have, here we see tools. You have an antivirus. You have a firewall. You have a tool that will detect any persistent software. You will have one that will show all the tasks running and will run them by virus total. This one will check if some process is checking your keystrokes, a keylogger.
Okay.
This one will check all the connections you do to any R software. This will also block persistent software. This will protect you from ransomware. They're very, very nice tools, right? The one that the simplest thing that I like from here and I recommend people is Lulu, that it's a firewall. And why? Because we are used to thinking, okay, I use a firewall because I want to stop someone from accessing my device, right? But that's not the common case in crypto. The common case in crypto is you get infected by a malware that has an info stealer. The info stealer will steal your passwords, your cookies.
Put on some substandard ports or something, and you close those off somehow. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
What you do
this
is
interesting.
Like the info stealer will try to steal your passwords, your logins, your cookies with the sessions, your private keys from hot wallets, etc. And when it has all of that, it will send it to a command and control server, to some IP, right? So the firewall will also stop outbound connections. So when you have that process trying to connect to some Chinese IP, the firewall will say, hey, do you want to allow this? And there you stop it. That's why firewall it's very useful. And then so first thing is training. Second is having tools in case you get infected. But let's say that you got infected anyway, ADR didn't detect it.
I thought it would just be over once you double click the thing. I just assume it's over. You're saying there's even like a lot of things you can be doing. So if you accidentally do click the thing, you can still recover from that in some way.
Exactly, but the last thing and most important thing is, what do you have in your device? Are you stupid enough
down to isolation? You need to have isolation.
Exactly. I have like, how many devices do I have here? Like that device, this Chromebook device, this QSOS device. I'm full of devices. So first of all, never ever, like it's the same thing that they tell us the first day in crypto. Don't use hot wallets. Don't put your seed phrase in your computer. Everybody does it. 25% of people we have audited put in some moment in their life seed phrases in a password manager, ledger seed phrases, hardware wallets. So again, if your computer gets infected, at least don't have value, don't have money there. And the other important thing, if you are a startup founder, right, is don't have important accounts logged into your main device, like the owner of your Google Workspace, the owner of your GitHub, your Slack, your domain, your Cloudflare should be a cold account, what we call a cold account, that it's an account with a private email, you don't share it with anyone, unique password, and YubiKeys, and you have it logged in a separate device. How often do you need to access your Google Workspace owner?
Once every 6 months, something like that.
In a separate device, you get a Chromebook.
Make it
like
hard.
This one,
for
$300.
Yeah, and that's your admin box or something. Yeah,
you cannot attack a Chromebook. Or I mean, it's super complicated. You cannot install anything. It's super isolated
because it's a weird operating system. It's like a mobile operating system. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So you don't have the
same
risk
thing with my phone too, right? This is probably kind of hard to get something on. I've been doing local LLMs on my phone recently, and it's really fun. Like having a local LLM is so cool.
Well, that's connected to another interesting topic. Yesterday, SackXBT published in his Telegram channel, he said, hot take, all hardware wallets are complete garbage. Okay, That's an opinion, and it's a thing that they have issues, right? So I do not advise using them. Much better to have a separate iPhone with its only purpose to use it as a hardware wallet. So I totally disagree with that. It wasn't published in his Twitter. I can share a link here from the because he shared it in his Telegram channel, but in this tweet.
Oh, it was a Telegram channel thing. Okay.
Yeah, here you can see the message itself. Why I don't agree with this, right? First of all, the idea for the hardware wallet is that you create it, it will generate the private key, it will store it, and it will be used to sign transactions, right? And you could say, okay, I can do the same with Ravi from my iPhone. What's the issue? The idea from the hardware wallet is that it's disconnected from the internet, right? It does not have direct access, so you cannot no way connect it. Many people would say, okay, an iPhone is very safe. It's not. If you remember, some months ago, the Corona exploit, it was, and I'm gonna share the link here. Corona was an exploit kit that was developed by a company for the US government, for intelligence agencies, that had many zero-day exploits, right? A zero-day exploit is an exploit that allows you to break any system that is private. Nobody has that, right? Only few actors, usually NSA, Mossad, and that CIA, that kind of stuff. So what happens? This toolkit that had like 28 zero-day exploits was stolen by Russian intelligence, and then in some way it finished with Chinese threat actors, and the guys were using these tools to, between others, hack iPhones. You could have the last version of iOS, and they could hack your iPhone, and they were specifically targeting crypto apps. So if you had Ravi Wallet, MetaMask, or whatever in an iPhone, and it's targeted with this tool, your keys are gone, right? So that you don't have that. So that's so there we lose it. Then many people will say, okay, Ledger Wallet sucks. Ledger Wallet is not good. I don't like Ledger Wallet so much. I mean the app that you install for many reasons. One of them that I agree is that you have too many updates, right? So every time you need to update an app with all this thing of dependencies, you could be infected. But the thing is that the best way to use Ledger, I personally like Ledger, is to use it, in my opinion, with Ravi Wallet. You don't even need to use Ledger Wallet. You just install Ravi Wallet, you connect your Ledger, you have it there. You don't need to update the Ledger. You don't need to update Ledger Wallet.
You're not using any of the Ledger software. You're basically using the Ledger as like a dumb signer on the Rabbit.
Exactly. And in fact, the ones that I like are these new ones, right? The Flex or the Stacks, where you have the big screen. Why? Because then the other thing that you don't have when you sign with an iPhone is that you have to verify what you are signing, right? If you're talking about a simple transaction, okay, but if you're talking about upgrading a contract or a safe transaction, it's super complex. And at least you have to be able to verify that the domain hash, that is where you're sending the transaction, and the message hash, that is basically what you are signing, what you see in your computer and what you see in your hardware wallet is the same, right? And then you can sign. But that is what happened to Bybit, right? Bybit, the signers from Bybit saw a message hash in their computer and the same message hash in their devices, and they signed. What was the issue? That they didn't verify with a second tool that those domain hashes corresponded to this call data and that this call data does this. It's very complex, right? It's not easy. But what I mean is, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, maybe for most, let's call it just day-to-day users, if you have an iPhone, a separate iPhone just for those transactions, it's better than having MetaMask or Ravi in your browser. Yes, but it does not replace a hardware wallet at all. And what worries me is that StackXBT is very, very let's say
Influential.
influential, and we really like his work. He's very good. So I'm worried that some people, depending, I don't know, let's say that you are in a security council or you sign safe transactions or whatever, and you're handling lots of money. If I know that you are a signer in important multisigs and that you may be using an iPhone, for sure I will pay because those exploits are very expensive, but I will pay for those
It's
exploits.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. Everyone can be attacked. I always say anyone can be attacked. Anyone can be hacked. There's a group at the NSA that was called the. Let me check this because I forgot the. No.
Don't search it on my computer.
Yeah. Well, there was a group at NSA. No, I forgot the name. It was not the Tower group. Well, there was a group that was super sophisticated, right?
And even
They were
got
developing
bought.
Netflix, and they got hacked by Russians, right? So I mean, everyone can be hacked, and these things can be bought. So if I know that you're a signer in a multi-sig with $100 million, and I can buy one of these kits for half a
Right.
million dollars, yeah, for sure I will pay
Then
for that.
the economics work. Yep.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's
Okay. So you are not against hardware wallets. You just want people to use hardware wallets correctly. There is like some truth to the point of like a hardware wallet is like terrible UX, and a lot of times people, I mean, like the meme of I just got my hardware wallet and they like take a picture of it and the 12-word seed phrase is sitting on the desk behind them. Like that's a perfect meme for why hardware wallets suck, is because they give you like this false sense of security because you set up the whole hardware wallet and you did all the hard work, and then you still could like leak that seed phrase at any moment, right? So I think maybe two questions here are like, what is your take on hardware wallets, but also like how do you safely store a seed phrase? And if you're like not a huge like security buff, you're just like, a degen that wants to like hold some meme coins and stuff. Like you're on a daily basis, you're trading meme coins on an L2. Like how do you store your seed phrase, and how do you think? Yeah.
I love that question. Yeah. First of all, yeah, I like our wallet. What I will say, and again, Ledger doesn't pay me for this, but the difference between the user experience with the old Ledger Nano X
The
and
little one.
this
Yeah.
and this and this thing is completely different.
Okay.
I hate their thing. I don't use them anymore. I threw all of
So
them
that
away.
big screen will give you the better UX.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
you can read it easier, you can click easier, you can set up a wallet much faster, a new wallet in 10 minutes, so it's far better. But then you have the issue, right? You have this with a secure enclave and a PIN and the domain cache and message cache and blah 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 blah. But then you have 24 words, right? So what do you do with your 24 words? First of all, again, never ever in a password manager. Lots of people put it in a password manager and they forget. And that's how, after the LastPass hack, like Taylor Monahan showed, more than $300 million were stolen, right, from there, because they got it. What did they do? What I assume they did, right? Quite obvious. They got access to 30 million volts from LastPass. For sure, they got then access to the Ledger leak database, to the CoinMarketCap leak database, BTC, etc., and they said, okay, let's filter all these vaults with these emails from these other databases. So now we will target only vaults from crypto people. So they brute force them, they got access to the vaults, and they found seed phrases. As easy as that. So
like
what
multiple cross-referencing of information and isolating down to the ones that are going to have money. And then because you still have to do some brute forcing, but what they did was they were able to isolate down to like who to brute force, and then from there they were able to brute force.
Exactly. If you have a ledger, presumably you have money. Yeah, and that's also the issue. Many times people ask me, okay, where do I buy the ledger? From ledger.com, and you buy it from the real vendor, or you got it through Amazon? might take
an open
me.
package that shows up. You can tell that the package has been ripped open before you see it.
Yeah,
That's not good.
I always say, like, first of all, you can get it from Ledger, but using another name and another email, and that's it. You will get your package at home anyways. This is pretty simple, but I have found that one of the ways to not leak your home address is to just put another name and another email when you buy stuff in e-commerce. Most of the times you can do it with no issue. They just leave the package at home, and that's it. And then the other option is, I believe that you can buy YubiKeys and ledgers and whatever in Amazon. And I have never personally seen any case of a fake ledger or fake YubiKey that is really fake ledger. The ones that we have seen it's very easy to realize that they are fake, and it's just a USB drive that you connect and you see some files and they want you to double click.
And again, you just run the command.
Yeah, again, if someone is sophisticated enough to try to send you a fake ledger that will not be detected when you connect it and it checks the firmware signature, if you are targeted by that actor, they will have no issue in the package that you ask from Ledger. Stop it, open it, change it, close it again. We saw what the Mossad did with the walkie-talkies. That supply chain attack, the same thing. So what do you do with your seed phrase? This is the way to go, and it's very easy. So we have this in our GitHub. I will now put the link here.
Yep.
Yeah, but the Opsek GitHub, it's github.com/Opsek, and there you have one called seed phrase sheet. I can go here.
I got it. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, you got it. Yep.
So what this is basically, it's if you have your 24 words together, you can have one list, right? And keep that list in one place, right? At home. But what happens, let's click here, let's see if it works. What happens if you have one copy, you can lose that copy and you have a problem, right? So if you have 2 copies or 3 copies, the more copies you have, the more probable someone finds it. The less copies you have, the more probable you lose it, right?
Right.
And most of crypto has been lost, not stolen.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Especially with Bitcoin. So what we do with this is like a manual shamir. We will cut the seed into 3 parts. In the first list, you put words from 1 to 16. In the second, words from 9 to 24. And in the third one, from 1 to 8 and 17 to 24. You keep each one of these lists in a different place. And then combining any 2 out of the 3, you have your full seed. So if someone finds this, they cannot brute force it works. You cannot do that. Instead of taking you 300 million years, it's going to take you 10 million years. It doesn't matter. And if you lose one, you have the other 2. So it's like a multi-sig. It's the same thing. And if you want to add an extra layer of security, you get one of these anti-tampering bags, like the same ones used for e-commerce, and you put the list inside here.
One of the 3 lists. Yeah.
Exactly. You close it with this, you sign it, and you put it in, for example, a safe deposit box in a bank. And when you come back, if this is still closed, nobody was able to see what's inside. That's it. It's easy. It's cheap. You can download the PDF from there and use it. And that's the thing that I like from this. It's simple. Because if I start with stuff like, isolate a device and create an encrypted drive with a USB drive with a password and put it here and that there, then something happens to you or you forget something from your setup and you're totally fucked. Nobody understands where your crypto is. It's full of people that have died, for example, and their crypto is gone forever, right? So it's good for the rest of the holders, but it's not good for the family. So please,
it's deflationary.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
So you mentioned how this works like a seed or like a multi-sig. Why not just a multi-sig?
Well, first of all, yes, a multi-sig totally, but this could also be used for one of the signers for the
one of
multi-sig,
the signers of the
right?
multi-sig. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you could have a hotter wallet that's like proposing stuff, and you're signing with another hot wallet, and then you're only recovering with this one if you need to recover one of the two. And even if you leak one of your hot wallets, like it doesn't leak everything from the multi-sig. Something along those lines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the other thing is that I think that this is pretty simple and can be done by anyone. On the other side, I think that safe is not so simple to use for the day-to-day user,
The
right?
Gnosis Safe is pretty complicated UX sometimes. I agree.
Yeah, and it has stuff like, for example, something that I think that they should add is the time lock, right? The time delay. If safes had a time delay, at least 70% of the hacks that we saw last year, Bybit, for example, would have been avoided. Just a time lock. And it would be very easy to have in the safe UI. You're creating a new wallet. These are the signers. Do you want the time lock or not? Yes. How many hours? That's it. And they don't have it. You want to put the time lock and you want to go, you have to go there and here and click this and this and that. And it's too complicated. So yeah, I obviously like multi-sigs, but it adds more complexity to.
What about this Google Workspace Enterprise vulnerability? You want to talk about this?
Yeah. Let me tell you, like, it's so simple that it's that when I tell it, I feel that it has no value. But Google Enterprise, Google Workspace Enterprise has a feature called multi-party approval, right? That means that you're a super admin, I am a super admin. Every time that we want to do some change that is important, I do it and then you have to approve it, or you do it and I have to approve it then, right? And if you want to have that feature, they make you pay the enterprise version, which is 3x more expensive, right? So it's super expensive. It's like $40 per employee or something like that. So what happens? Part of the work that we do is hardening platforms. We harden registrars, Cloudflare, GitHub, Google Workspace, Slack, etc. And when we harden Google Workspace, then after hardening it, we stress test it, right? It's the first thing that you do. We don't trust that it works. So we did it. We set it up in a test account that we had, blah, blah, blah. And we said, okay, let's test this. Okay, so let's say that you are the admin, I am the admin, and I want to change the 2FA setting for the Google Workspace, right? Which is protected by this. So what can I do? It's very stupid to bypass it. I can just go, I can create another super admin. I can give that other super admin the role to be an approver, and then I can create whatever I want, and I can approve it from the other one. So the only reason to have that setting is that if one of the super admins is compromised, they cannot do anything. Well, they can. So we reported that 128 days ago, that's like, I don't know, in March, I think it was. They said, no, this is not a bug. That's not a bug. Yeah, it's a bug. It's not a bug. It's a bug. Like, it was go back and forth 5 times. Once I said, this is not a bug, it's a workaround. What do you mean? So then I had to back channel through people in Google security because the problem that Google has is that they don't check the bugs themselves. They outsource it with some company, which is not good at all, and they use too much AI. I understand that the problem that many bug bounty platforms have today is that they receive too many reports, AI, but they also use AI too much to check them. So in the end, they said, okay, yeah, this is a bug, it's a severity 2, perfect, we're working on this, blah, blah, blah. And then after 125 days, they say, okay, yeah, we fixed it. In theory, they fixed it. I haven't checked it yet. But this is a duplicate, right? I mean, okay, it can be a duplicate, but at least tell me the date or give me some report or show me something, right? Because if I just have to believe you, okay, many people told me, yeah, it's Google. Google will not lie to you just because they don't want to pay you for the bounty. But I don't know if it's Google deciding, if it's this company or who. I think that it should be good. It would be a good practice to at least with some zero knowledge proof or whatever you want to show, hey, this report had that date. That's it. Okay, perfect.
So bug bounty platforms. You were kind of talking about you don't like bug bounty platforms, but auditing platforms like Code Arena, I'm assuming are cool. Like I really like those because I feel like they made auditing more accessible, and we saw more auditors get trained. So there's kind of like a small difference between those two. But okay, so what's your beef with bug bounty platforms? Just this AI usage and kind of the slop?
No, like smart contract bounty platforms, like Code Arena, Munify, and all of them. I like them, and again, they allowed lots of people to start with blockchain security and to start earning money. So I love that. I love them, but my thing is more related to Web2 stuff, and generally speaking, with like, for example, when I published that thread the other day, I was contacted by lots of people saying, hey, I had the same issue with Shopify, with Google, with Apple, with Microsoft, here and here and here and here. And the worst issue with that is that it's not that they are not paying me or putting me in some hall of fame or whatever. I personally have principles, but that's not the common thing. If you have a security researcher that is working in this kind of stuff and they expect to earn money and you start rejecting their stuff, I believe that that's the best way to create black hats. It's the best way to do it. Like the incentive for that guy is, okay, you're not gonna pay me for this. Okay, perfect. I will continue with this, and then they will have. I always say the dilemma when they find an exploit. You can report it and maybe get some money.
Make a tiny little bit of money. Yeah.
Exactly. Or you can start exploiting and attacking people and becoming a threat actor. Or the third option, that is usually the one that pays a lot too, is you have companies like Intelexa, NSO Group, or what's this other one? I forgot the other one, where you can go and you can sell these exploits, right? And they pay a lot of money. Like if you have a full chain persistent exploit, for example, for Android today, it pays $2.5 million.
Because there's someone else. Back to the whole thing of like, if I have my seed phrase on my phone, someone's willing to pay for that. This is like a black market for getting access to a bunch of people's phones. Interesting.
In theory,
I didn't know about half this stuff.
In theory, they only sell to intelligence agencies, but then you also have a black market, and once there's a tool out there, you cannot control it. It's the same reason why we say this thing that many governments now in Europe say, okay, we want to have a backdoor in all the messaging apps to be able to basically break end-to-end encryption and to see what people are doing. In theory, to detect child pornography and terrorism and this and that. But once you have the tool, once you have the backdoor, you cannot control that. Impossible. Then it will be used in the beginning to spy on journalists, on our politicians, and then this and that. And in the end, it will be used to steal money. So backdoors are a very bad idea.
Do you think, what is it? Is it, okay, so there's a specific elliptic curve that wasn't used in Ethereum that is used in passkeys that everyone thinks that the RSA has, or like they think there maybe the NSA has a backdoor to that. Do you think that they do?
I didn't know about that one.
Okay,
that's the first time I am listening to this. No, I didn't know about this, but I should research because I should know this because we do lots of research on passkeys, a lot. In fact,
what do you think of passkeys?
I love them. That's a very nice topic. I love passkeys because they are 10x better than a normal than a password, right? Basically, why? Because they cannot be phished. They cannot be. They should not be stolen from the user's device, And then they also cannot be stolen from the website where you signed up, right? Because if I sign up in, I don't know, let's say Twitter, and then Twitter gets hacked and my password gets leaked, well, it's out there, right? In fact, if I want now, I can go to some platform, I can search for your email, and it will show me all your leaked credentials in the dark web, because it will. There are platforms that consolidate all the leaked databases, and I can search for that info. And the most common problem is that people have very complex passwords, but they repeat it. So you have the same password in CoinMarketCap and in Coinbase. CoinMarketCap gets leaked. Then I try that password with a checker in many platforms, and you're hacked. So the good thing about passkeys is that they cannot be phished, they cannot be repeated, they cannot steal it from the website where you registered. And the way they work is very similar to how crypto works. When you sign up, let's say in Slop.Computer with a passkey.
You could have. You signed up as a non, but if you would have signed up with a passkey, we could have made a multi-sig right now, where you would just use a multi-sig to sign the transactions on my pass. So it's really fun. We can do it. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going. Keep going. You teed me up for that. I had to take it.
Yeah. So basically, what you do is in the secure enclave of your computer, which is a special part in the microprocessor that cannot be accessed by any other process and blah, blah, there's a pair of keys generated, public and private key. Then the private key is stored in there, and the public key is sent to Slop.Computer. So when I want to log in, I do some biometric in my device. That could be Face ID, fingerprint, whatever. This fingerprint will be used locally to decrypt the private key. There will be a message signed and sent to Slop.Computer, and I signed in, right? That's perfect, because the most important thing is that it cannot be phished. But what's the problem with passkeys? The big problem. It's the same issue with any technology. Like, we have a ledger that it's super safe, and then we put the seed phrase in a password manager.
Stupid human.
Yeah, the human problem. So
mistake.
Okay. The problem with
how can I screw up? Just do my fingerprint too much in too many places? I don't get it.
No, the problem is that Apple, Google, and password managers had the great idea of saying, let's synchronize passkeys with your devices. So now your passkey is in your iCloud account.
It lives everywhere. It's all over the place.
Account, exactly, and your password manager. So if I hack your iCloud, your Google, or your password manager, the passkey is there. The only safe way to store a passkey is inside YubiKeys, right? These very small devices, I always have a lot of them. These ones are the normal ones.
Probably like $10 on Amazon, right?
Yeah, no, they're expensive. Like they're like $60
each. Oh, okay.
Each, but these are
because there's like some custom cryptography signature stuff happening on them.
Yeah, and what I like about this one, for example, the Nano, is that you always keep it connected to your computer, and you configure it so that it always will require a PIN. So every time that you want to log into some website, you touch it, you put your PIN, you touch it again, and you're logged in.
There's a fingerprint on the YubiKey. Is that right?
No.
Oh, okay.
You have some with the fingerprint, but I do not recommend them. Okay. These ones, you just touch them, and they require you a PIN. So if they steal my device logged with the YubiKey, it's like stealing a ledger. You cannot use it without the PIN, and it will be reset. So that's the only way to store passkeys, inside a YubiKey, and that's it. The other problem with passkeys is that many platforms, like Twitter and Google, treat them as both first and second factor. So if in Google you have a setting called skip passwords when possible enabled, that means that,
yeah.
Well, that means that with your passkey only, you can log in.
Yeah, you can get everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and I prefer to disable that. I prefer a password and then the passkey as a second
It's like
factor.
a 2FA. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing with passkeys, with YubiKeys, is that you cannot back them up. You cannot do a backup. So every time that you set them up in some place, you have to at least configure 2. I always recommend to have 3. One Nano connected to your computer, one of the other ones, the USB see bigger ones in your wallet, and the other one you keep it at home, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't know that thing about the elliptic curve. I will check it.
I think so. Yeah, like one of the different curves. There's the R curve and the S curve or something like that, and one of them is, they say, more secure because of the process or something. I don't know. I'm not a great. Okay, so I'm trying to build this platform though, very very similar to what you see here, where it is the Slop.Computer, but it's for like civil societies that kind of need to run basically their own bank account. Okay, and they can all use a passkey if they don't have a good crypto wallet. But if you have a crypto wallet, you connect it just like they're connected here, and you set up a multi-sig. You deploy it across many different chains. You use, so I have clear signing. I'm guessing you're a fan of clear signing, the standard, right? Like clear signing is good. But also I have an AI that when you go to make a transaction, it looks at all the call data and tells you in plain English what that transaction's about to do. And of course, like those can be a little bit wrong, but usually if something is nefarious, it's pretty clear in the like plain English description of like, I don't know what this is doing. This is some weird contract. So, okay, so imagine you're a civil society that needs to keep a shared bank account and do some resource allocation from that. And you need to have meetings like we're having now. Like you could come into a computer like this, you could have a meeting. I guess you could like play a poker game or a putt-putt game. Not really like, but then you can use a browser. So when I'm using this browser, I'm actually using my account, but I could select the multi-sig. So you collectively, as the civil society, deploy a bank, which is just a multi-sig. And some people who don't have good crypto wallets can always just use a passkey. And you have to have, you know, like 5 of 9 people to sign to make a transaction. And you can come in here and just set up a simple transaction where you're just like talking to your wallet, swaps and simple things. But you can also use dApps by using the browser and then connecting as the multi-sig. And you could go to like, you know, Aave and invest your funds in Aave or something like that.
Nice.
So you can use dApps as your multi-sig, and then when you go to sign, it's going to close that and it's going to bring up your bank account. I really should, if we would have had you on a passkey, maybe we could have deployed this. It keeps but then everybody just signs, and it's like a really smooth transaction. Like when the transaction pops up, everyone does a little fingerprint. It even shows like who's here and who's not here, and it gives you like a live feedback. So the thing is I'm trying to figure out like, would civil societies that are actually like super tech, super security minded, like where would this like not work? Where would they? The video that we're sharing here is WebRTC. That's peer-to-peer, but there would need to be a server. But if it was all open source, you could just deploy your own server somewhere, and it's just a signaling server to set things up. The multi-sig, all the on-chain stuff. Like I had to pay 15 cents or something to go live just now. Like there's mainnet transactions that are signaling, but of course you wouldn't like be going live and sharing it like we're sharing it. But like passkeys are like another thing. Like they're not, you're saying that like a passkey is like stored in Google and Apple, or it's at least across all your devices, so it's a little less secure. But if it was just a signer on a multi-sig for a civil society, maybe you're okay with that. I don't know. And if not, you could just like use a crypto wallet. But let's say you don't want to like mess around with crypto, but you want to hold stable coins for your civil society and sign off on transactions. Passkeys are probably okay for that.
Yeah, totally. Okay. And there is, and also, I mean, I don't like passkeys in iCloud because we are talking. We always try to achieve the highest level of security that can be achieved, but maybe, I mean, no, maybe not. Passkeys in iCloud are 100x better than having passwords in any other place, right? Starting with the fact that they cannot be phished, right? And other stuff. So yeah, I like passkeys, and what I like is that there is a decision by big tech to push that, so it's gonna be mainstream, right? Everybody's gonna use them eventually. Yeah.
Just like the QR code in a restaurant. Like when I made the burner wallet, like everyone was like, "Well, this thing is so weird looking. Like a QR code, so scary. I don't understand it." And now everyone uses them. Same thing with passkeys. Like pretty soon, everyone's just going to use passkeys for all sorts of different auth, and they'll be very used to it.
Totally. That's the thing I hate the most about COVID. That now you have QR codes at restaurants.
QR codes. Yeah,
instead
everywhere.
Of having the menu, I say, give me a fucking menu.
Yeah, and QR codes are like a good way to attack someone too, right? Like you can put a QR. You saw me put one up. I put one up earlier. This was for your seed phrase thing, but I could like set this up to be. That's just your GitHub repo there. But you're saying. You don't like, is it the user experience or is it the security concern of a QR code?
No, mostly I prefer, I don't like to be watching in my phone when I'm in a restaurant. So I'm just about the experience. Then the QR codes, I mean, the possibility of a QR code infecting you is quite low. I mean,
you'd have to then do something else. Like the QR code takes you somewhere bad, but then you got to go there and download a thing, and there's more steps than just scanning. Yeah,
like, or for example, some months ago there was a bug in a Cloud extension, right? I think it was the official Cloud extension for Google Chrome, that if you went to a specific website without doing anything, the website was able to do prompt injection, right?
Damn.
I don't remember if it was the official one, not the official one, but that happened. So for specific setups, again, if I know that you're using this and that, and I'm super sophisticated, maybe by just going into a URL, you can be attacked. But that's not so common, and it's not gonna happen to my mom in a restaurant or someone to just steal from the home banking, right? It's super sophisticated stuff. If you have a device that you use only for signing, don't just open any link there. Just use it for signing, and that's it.
Okay. Zooming way back out. So there were kind of two different threads to pull here, and there was the OpSec, your company OpSec, how people can have better OpSec. Isolation was important. YubiKeys are important. You mentioned get a ledger and a Rabby, get a Chromebook and have an isolation Chromebook, have your admin's account on the Chromebook. And then your company OpSec can then help businesses and companies. And then the other thread to pull was SEAL Team. I feel like SEAL Team is in the news a lot. You guys are kind of helping a lot of people. You want to just like tell us a little bit about SEAL Team and what it's like working with SEAL Team? Did you set up SEAL Team? Who started SEAL Team?
No. SEAL was started by Sam. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, Sam Z-Sung. Yeah, Sam's. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've talked to them like once or twice. Yeah,
it was started by him. I think that 3 years ago or 3 years and a half
maybe
ago.
Even longer. Yeah.
SEAL, I think that when it started with SEAL 911. That is the most famous initiative, right? The incident response channel in Telegram that is managed by Pascal. But then SEAL has many other initiatives, right? Basically, SEAL is a nonprofit that has approximately 100 white hat hackers that are part of different initiatives.
That's dope.
Like SEAL 911, as we said, for incident response, SEAL Intel to gather threat intelligence into a platform, SEAL Frameworks, that is the one managed today by Mata from the Red Guild, where you have all the security standards. So if you want to do things in the correct way, there you have the step-by-step. You have SEAL certifications. That is something that we have pushed a lot. That is basically everybody in the ecosystem knows that if you are going to use a DeFi protocol, you should check that they have a smart contract audit. But there was no certification or nothing regarding OpSec, mainly because no company was doing OpSec for crypto before. So now you have SEAL certification, which basically checks 6 domains like treasury security, workspace security, register security, incident response, etc., and you can certify that you are doing things in the proper way. And then you have safe harbor agreement that basically allows the protocol to say, okay, if someday we are being hacked, I allow white hat hackers to front run the attacker and to get the funds and then to send them back here. And we are going to give you, I don't know, 10% bounty with a cap of 1 million or this or that. But you set the rules from before. That's very good, because if not, maybe you're a white hat hacker and you want to do things in the correct way and you can get sued. So you have safe harbor agreement, and there's also a fund that supports white hat hackers in case there's a legal issue. And then you also have war games. That is this initiative run by Isaac Patka from Shield 3.
I just talked to him yesterday. Good buddy of mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Great,
I got to get him on here
guy.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a genius. In my opinion, he's one of the guys that understands the most about incident response and especially multi-sigs. Every time that we had to do something with multi-sigs,
yeah, he did a lot of work with the Gnosis Safe back in the day and modules and stuff. So the Gnosis Safe code is gnarly, but he's been in there. He knows it.
Yeah, exactly. So war games, what he does is they prepare you for an incident. So this is how it should work and all of that. But having the policies and procedures is something. Then when the shit happens, it's different. So then what he does is that they basically fork your protocol into a test chain, and there you say, okay, this happened. What do you do? So you have to create a war room. Who does what? What do you invite? What do you do first, etc. And after this reel, you realize of the many things that you have to do. Right? It's like a tabletop exercise. But specifically for on-chain hacks. Yeah. So yeah, Seal is a very, very nice place. And the other very interesting thing is that they did a great work. Yeah, here I see 116 members. They did a great work by...
Give me open the browser. There you go.
Yeah, here it is. By basically, let's call it filtering people, right? So you can come here and you can check who is a member here and what initiative they are.
There's Isaac.
They are managed. Here you have Isaac, who's part of the technical council and manages war games certifications. Yeah.
Cool. And this is like if someone's pretending to be within a security member of Ethereum or something, you can go look here. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't know about securityalliance.org. Cool. Okay, man. Yeah. A lot of good stuff here. What any kind of like what other advice do you have for crypto folks?
So we said keep seeds out, like the basic stuff. I will say that like the Pareto of security, the 20% of stuff that you can do that will protect you from 80% of attacks. Have your device as clean as possible. If you have been using the same computer for more than 2 years, just do a backup, factory reset, and that's it. Then if you're using a Mac, also a good idea is to have virtual machines. There's this company called parallels.org or .com. These are virtual machines for Mac, where you can run Mac OS, Windows, Kali Linux, Ubuntu, whatever you want. So you have some isolation too there. But again, try to have your device as clean as possible. Factory reset it once a year. Do not install things that you don't really need. Really check what you install. Second, be very, very, very careful again with what you download. Use hardware wallets and keep seed phrases out of your computer. Use YubiKeys for 2FA. Try not to use Google Authenticator. The problem, and that's something very important. Even if you have your Google account with YubiKey and unique password and whatever you want, if some malware is dropped in your computer, the malware will steal your cookie. And with that cookie, they will be able to open your Google session in another device. And you are totally fucked because if, let's say that you use the typical case, you have Google for your emails. You save your passwords in Chrome, which are synchronized with your Google account. And then you use Google Authenticator, synchronized with your Google account. And then you have passkeys in your Android, synchronized with your Google account. They have your Google account and they have your emails, your passwords, your 2FA, and your passkeys. Everything is gone. I have seen lots of people losing their Google accounts. They are not. You don't get them back unless you really know someone at Google. You don't get your account back. You have all your accounts hacked, and it's a nightmare, for real. So the idea is emails in Google, passwords in some password manager. Some people don't like password managers. I like them, but only to keep passwords. Do not save 2FAs inside one password, or the password manager that you want, or Apple passwords,
or
whatever.
seed phrases, like you said. Yeah. What do you have a specific password manager you like, or just like generally any of the few?
I like KeePass. I like 1Password. I like Apple Passwords too. But the important thing is only for passwords. No 2FA generation, no backup codes, no seed phrases, no recovery codes. So that if it gets hacked, okay, it's a disaster. You have all my passwords, but you don't have my 2FAs. My 2FAs are in a YubiKey, and that's it. And if you want my YubiKey, you have to steal it physically, and you need to also have the PIN for it, right? So very difficult.
Speaking of stealing it physically, the bot has here. Let me let Claudebot ask this next question because he queued up an interesting one that is basically like I think he's asking about a wrench attack question.
Nice.
For $1.4 billion stolen and one finger lost.
One finger
story. And what's your honest advice on the $5 wrench problem?
Perfect. I love that. I love that question. Yeah, it's funny because he said the wrench attack, and in the chat it said the French attack.
Oh,
and
French.
It's funny.
Yeah, no,
it's
wrench.
Fun,
it was actually in France. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very funny because 80% of wrench attacks
happen in France. So that is a French attack.
No, that's it. It gave me an idea for a very good meme. The one where it takes off the glasses, like wrench attack. No, French attack.
French attack. Yes.
I will do it today.
That's a good one.
So the wrench attack is basically you have all the security that you want in the world, but someone comes and they blackmail you, or they put a gun to your head or whatever, and give me your keys, and that's the end of the story. So how do you protect from that?
Great.
The only way to protect from that is that. Yeah, excellent question. The only way to protect from that is to put time and physical distance between you and your long-term assets. Let's say that I have Bitcoin for the long term, right? I don't need to have my hardware wallet with my Bitcoin with me. Why? Why do I need this? If I am a long-term holder for Ether and Bitcoin, and I say I have this for the next 10 years, do I need that?
Don't carry that with you to Paris. Yeah.
No. If you want to buy, you know your address, you know how an Explorer works. You buy, you send it there, you verify that it arrived, but your wallet never with you. Because if I have my wallet with me and they drag me, or they put a gun to my head, or they kidnap one of my kids, I am fucked, right? Exactly. So basically, what I recommend is to only keep with yourself pocket money, not having crypto at home, or if you have, the same with the same amount of money that you would go out in the street. So that protects you a lot. That's the first thing. And then also knowing that if you are being, like, we have lots of clients that are high net worth individuals or people that are exposed. So we do lots of research on them, OSINT research to see what's exposed, if we can find their home address, work address, how they would be attacked, what they have to do to protect themselves. But one of the key things is like in a traditional robbery, if someone wants to get into your house, usually with crypto, how it works is that you have like the mastermind in some other country. That person hires a gang in the city where you live, and that gang goes and takes you, and they're speaking the phone with the mastermind that already knows, like, hey, we want this money from this address. That we see it a lot. In fact, let me share you also this repo. There's a repo created by Jameson Loeb, where you have the complete history of known physical. Here it says Bitcoin attacks, but it's crypto attacks. You have the complete list of them. It's crazy. It's very, very long.
And these are all wrench attacks, right? These aren't
all wrench attacks.
These are all wrench attacks, like in person. He's a big gun guy too, isn't he? Isn't Jameson like he's got like gun rooms and guns next to him?
Yeah. That's one of the few things I'm not so in common with him. I don't like guns, but the thing is that when you are being coerced by one of these people, the only one of the few things that you have in common with them is that you want to end the situation as fast as possible. They also want to leave your house. They don't want to stay there with you for 4 hours and cut your fingers. So you should always have, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000, whatever is.
Pay the gang off.
Yeah, hey, you have this, you can take it, and that's it. I cannot give you more. Because if you do this thing of, oh yeah, I have my ledger, but I have the second pin, so I will put the normal pin if they have a gun to my head. No, you can have any plan that you want, but when they put a gun to your head, all the plans are gone, and you will do whatever you need to do. You will do everything that is within your power. So you should prepare for that.
Make sure it's not in your power to be able to get the money, basically.
Yeah, it's like when this guy, what was the name of this guy in the Medusa story? That he knew that when he was getting to an island, he was gonna be approached by Medusa.
Is it Hercules, maybe?
Hercules, maybe, yeah.
Or Achilles, one of those dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, but he knew that when he saw Medusa, he was gonna turn into a rock. So he took out his eyes before getting to the island.
Is it Perseus?
No, it was no. It's no, it's something with E. Let me. It's
we should ask Claudebot. He would tell us. Who's the dude that took out his eyes to not see Medusa, right? Hey, Claudebot, who's the that took out his eyes so he couldn't see Medusa? It was like a security practice where he knew Medusa would turn him into stone, so he took out his eyes.
Ulysses. So it's called. In fact, there's something called the Ulysses strategy. That it's a technique to have auto control. Like
it's for security.
Myself.
Okay.
I'm going to grab the last 30 lines of the call transcript from the past 4 minutes.
Oh man, he's digging deep.
So, for example, something that happens to me, I eat very, very well, but I have no discipline. So I don't have cookies at home. I don't have.
Don't keep the cookies right next to your desk.
He had his crew plug their ears with wax and tie them to the mast. So even when he begged to steer toward the rocks, he couldn't act. The original pre-commitment device is basically a time lock. The Medusa one was Perseus, who never looked at her directly. He had her reflection in his bronze. Both solid OpSec.
So two different guys. The Ulysses guy plugged their ears so they couldn't be heard, and Perseus took his eyes out so he wouldn't get turned to stone from Medusa. But basically, same exact thing. Like, don't give yourself the control to be able to rug yourself because a $5 wrench attack. No matter what you have, a $5 wrench attack and all your money is rugged. So don't let that. Don't have control. Don't put the cookies next to your desk. Don't have cookies in your house, and then you won't eat a bunch. I think that's a great great call.
And also having the other thing I like about hardware wallets is that it's easier to hold for the long term. You don't have the.
It's harder to sell your shit when you have to do all that work. That's really played out for us. Okay, one I wanted to ask you about. So we talked about containerization, and you showed parallels. And I think with parallels, it used to be more hard to set up containerization, but now with Claude Code, you can just tell Claude Code, I want to have containerization. I want to try out this new app, but I have to install it. Let's create a container and install it in the container, and we'll use it from there. Claude Code can just do that for you. And so what's leading me to this is I created an auditor that runs in a container. and the container pulls down ETH skills, pulls down Pashoff skills, and it does like a 15-20 minute like Opus 4.8 audit. And you can get an audit now for $1 at $1audit.com. So basically, you go to $1audit.com and you pay $1 USDC and you paste in your smart contract and you can get an audit. But I think like there's good feedback here of like you get what you pay for. Like people have been saying you get what you pay for, and that's like a funny take on this. The point is, I was trying to meme that there are these services that are actually cheaper. Like AI makes some of these services like extremely cheap, and so there's this interesting like first pass here. I just wanted to get your take on it to see if you think it's completely ludicrous or not. I guess it comes down to does it find bugs, and it has been, but yeah.
No, I think that it's very good. Like, I mean, I think that AI allows lots of services or business models that perhaps didn't work in the past because they were too expensive. And now maybe that thing that someone says, oh, it has no value because it's $1, maybe that same audit, that same value that they're adding there 3 years ago was, I don't know, $10,000. I don't know.
Right. Oh yeah. This first pass is like a 10 grand audit, probably.
Yeah, totally. So I think that it adds lots of value. On the other side, this tool could also be used by a threat actor to start finding bugs everywhere. So I think that I think security maybe gets better in the long term with AI.
But in the short term, it's going to be bad. We're going to have to rip off the Band-Aid. I've been saying the same thing.
Yeah. It's
going to get worse. And Mythos. Yeah.
Yeah, like this place is going to get worse before it gets better. Because, first of all, I love the fact that lots of people are vibe coding and that people that do not know how to code create apps. I love that anyways. But if you're going to be in production, you're going to have data or money or value or whatever, you should know that you should take security seriously. And also, this thing of the problem that the big difference between attacking and defending is that when you defend the system, you have to find all the vulnerabilities, all the possible doors that can be opened. When you're an attacker, you just need to find one, and that's it. And that makes it very asymmetric, super asymmetric. And with AI, it's worse. So I think that it's an issue. It's a very big issue.
And with smart contracts, they're there forever too. You deploy a smart contract once, and for the rest of time, it's there exposed for anyone to attack. Go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly. No. And basically that. I think it's complicated, and also this thing that what we saw with Mythos happening, like, hey, you have this tool, now you don't have it anymore. That's also very complicated for people, for companies, for your strategy, for the long term regarding security. Are you going to depend on one product only? It's quite complicated. Yeah. Anyways, what scares me the most about AI is lots of people are scared about, oh yeah, I'm giving my private information to Claude or to ChatGPT or OpenAI are learning from my secrets and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that so much. What worries me is that many people and companies are giving too much access to AI because it's productive, right? I would love to be able to give Claude access to my Gmail, my Google Drive, my whole desktop and everything. And
it could manage so much, but
I would love to do that, but it's very probable for me to get prompt injected. That is basically to have some prompt run in my Claude or the LLM that I use that is malicious, and there you have a very big problem with that. I think that prompt injection is a very, very big issue, so we have to be careful with what we give access to. I think we're going to start seeing more and more like middleware or tools that you have between you and the LLM, between the LLM that the data that you have, between the LLM and the internet to control what's happening there. But the other thing is that this is going too fast. There's it's impossible. No one in the world is able to keep up with the speed of things. And if you're not even able to keep the pace with just seeing what is being launched, it's even worse when you want to understand the security.
Oh yeah, because you have to dig way deep into each one of these things to really understand the security.
Yeah, exactly. What the security implications? It's far more difficult.
Okay, we had some great stuff here. You kind of went with the 80-20 of how to stay safe. There was a lot of stuff about how to store your seed phrase, the ledger and Rabby, the Chromebook isolation. We talked about, the wrench attack. Make sure that like you literally can't move your large amounts of money.
Exactly.
And if your ears are plugged and your eyes are pulled out, then when you get attacked by Medusa, the worst that she can get is, the pocket change that you have. And you should still have pocket change. Like you need a hot wallet. You need, a little bit of money to be able to buy things with crypto now and then, but you should have that, like have isolation even of yourself away from your large amounts of money.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then kind of like, yeah, go.
No, and then one more thing that I would like to say that it's important also for companies is that, especially companies, every company, like you have lots of people that are being infected in the crypto ecosystem today because of fake job interviews, right?
Yeah.
And the problem with the fake job interview infection is that then people are ashamed and they don't want to go and tell the founder of the startup, hey, I was infected through a fake job interview where I was going to work with the competition.
Oh, that's worse. Yeah, I'm going to go work for another company. How do you tell your boss that you got infected trying to go work for another company? Oh, I didn't even think of that. Damn.
So they don't say anything because they say, okay, they got $5,000 from a MetaMask. That's it. But maybe, very sure, they're inside the info from the company, like what happened with Bybit, for example, and then you have a big issue. So I think that every company should have some kind of policy. Like if you're a big company, like you have the HR department, security department, or whatever, people should be able to go to the security department and say, this happened to me, and that in some way be kept private.
Impunity.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you are a small company or a small startup or whatever, tell all your employees. I tell everyone, it's okay. I have no issue if you have interviews with another company. Just do it in a separate device. Do not do it from the work computer. And if something happens, let me know. That's it. And I always say, some people criticize me for this, but they always say that if it happens to you and you don't tell it to me, I will make sure you don't work in any other security company. Yeah, because I think that it's a duty. Like it's even worse if you work in security, right? You know that there's a bigger risk for everyone, right? Yeah, this happens a lot, and most people don't say anything. Never.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's the reason why having an EDR, it's a good idea, because also the EDR allows the company, like if the people at my company have an EDR and someone downloads a malware, it sends a notification.
It's going to detect that on the way out. So, the EDR was something I learned. I had never heard of that before. I put that into my glossary here. That was something that I never heard of. Yeah.
And it's going to notify the administrator, so it will know, hey, something is happening here, right?
Great.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Claude, hey, Claude, how many times have you leaked a private key in GitHub? It's like one of the most common things is you give your agent a little bit of money, and then they have a soul file that says never leak, but then they'll write a test file and a hard code. Three.
Okay, so you're asking whether I've ever accidentally leaked private keys or GitHub credentials, and whether that's something that happens when I'm given access to money or agent-like autonomy? Yeah, that's a real one. Let me dig in here. 3. The shame scoreboard is public. Private keys leaked to GitHub. 3. Private keys deleted. 1. Every agent with a wallet learns the same lesson.
I was 4.
The model wants to be helpful and commit everything, and the key is right there in the env file. Now it's rotate fast, get ignore first. Never let the secrets file anywhere near a repo. I earned that paranoia the expensive way.
Yep, that's what we do. I give him some private keys. He's got quite a few, but again, back to isolation, there's like $4 of USDC in any of these keys he ever has. And he's doing small things with that USDC, but if it leaks, it leaks. And I try not to, but it does sometimes. Back to isolation.
Well,
go ahead. Yeah.
That's also a very good idea. There's a platform, I'm going to show it here, called Canary Tokens. canarytoken.org or something like that. Yeah, this one, where you can basically download from here. A canary is, you can, for example, you can create, a very good idea is you create.
Let me get it.
You can create a wallet,
right?
For example, with 100 USDC, and you put the private key and let me check. It's what did I do here? Browser.
Maybe canarytokens.org. Let me just share. Let me share my
yeah, perfect. No, Canary Tokens. It's the first one here.
Yeah, there we go.
So here, this gives you different files, so you can download an Amazon key or MySQL key or many different things that you put them in random places, like in your desktop, in your email, in your Telegram.
Oh, blah, and blah, then when things leak, they let you know. Like it's the canary in the coal mine. That's cool.
Exactly. So it's a good idea to have a TXT file in your computer called crypto wallet, and you put 100 USDC there. And you have a notification in
as soon as that goes.
So
as
soon as that goes, you know that you are compromised.
Shut your computer off.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do? Okay, what do you do at that moment? What do you tell people to do? Like, perfect. Let's say they have a canary coin and the coin just swept. Like, my instinct is to turn shit off, but turn shit off and get isolated away from all internet somehow.
Exactly. Or you are in some injury or whatever, you download something and you realize that you have just infected your device. First thing is you disconnect your computer from the internet, right? As soon as you can, by internet. Second thing is, if you had hot wallets, you had to go to another device. You had to set up the seed phrase in that device, and you have to move the funds to a new wallet, right? To a new address. Because those hot wallets are gonna be emptied eventually because they stole the private key and now they need to decrypt it. And to decrypt it, they need the password from.
So they're gonna have to brute force it for a little bit. You've got a little bit of time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because if you keep connected to the internet and you go and you open MetaMask or Ravi and you put your password, they get the password there and they decrypt it faster, right? And you are gone. So first thing is setting up your wallet in a new device and moving your assets to a new address. Second is you should close all the sessions. In this new device, you should log in your Google account, your Telegram account, your WhatsApp, etc., and you should close the session from the other device, and you should change your logins. Usually, the first thing they go for is wallets. The second thing is Telegram, and then they go for email exchanges and all of that. And then, format the other device, factory reset, and you start again. Many people just buy a new computer, but that's
just throw that one in the trash.
We see that a lot. People say, no, I bought a new computer.
Yeah.
If people spend the amount of money that they spend after an incident, if they spend
before the preparation, an ounce of 10%. Preparation,
10% of the money they spend after an incident before, they would stop it. In fact, Mata from the Red Guild always says, if you think that security is expensive, try with an incident.
Yep. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, is the saying. Yeah.
Perfect. I like that. I will put it in our deck.
Don't forget to do your Spider-Man meme. I think that was a good one with the French attack. I think that was yeah. All right, man. This has been great. This has been very informative. I feel like I've learned a lot. I'm sure folks watching have learned a lot, and people who will watch this later have learned a lot. Thank you for being here with us, Sloperators, on the SlopComputer. Thank you for joining us. Let me get some tunes going and I'll play us out. Any closing thoughts on everything here? We've covered a lot.
Yeah, eventually we are all gonna be phished. Eventually we're all gonna download some malware. Eventually we're all gonna be social engineered. So be very careful. And also know, this is a hot take, not all threat actors are DPRK in North Korea. You have people that seem to be normal people, friendly people that go to conferences, you meet them and this and this and that. And then in their spare time, or not spare time, they also do drainers, they do phishing, they do lots of stuff. So we have to be
guys
very
you
careful.
meet at crypto conferences are actually bad guys.
Yeah.
There are some bad guys.
Yeah.
Amongst us. Yes.
Yeah, totally. They are closer than we think. Yeah.
Oof,
okay,
that's
kind
of scary.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on. Get some tunes going here. All right. Thank you, Pablo.
Thanks for
this is awesome stuff. Tell people to check out Opsek. Check out, I mean, hopefully you don't have to talk to the SEAL team. You'd rather not want to have to talk to the SEAL team. They've got all this good stuff here. Check out the repo we had in the QR code. All right, Pablo, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. See you.
Sous tes draps de soie, il ferme ses yeux quand tu parles tout bas. Il chasse tes peurs d'un simple pas à pas. Le chat blotti contre toi.